The title of my presentation is called Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. Does anybody know the name of the song playing? Can anybody tell me what Michael Jackson is talking about in the song? Well, for me, it's saying that if you want to see a change, you have to take a look in the mirror at yourself and see how you can become that change. So basically, you have to become the change that you want to see. Okay, so statistics say that 6 in 100 Chicago public high school students go to college every year. They say 50% of those students are African American females. Only 35% of those students go to college to actually receive a bachelor's degree, and it takes them on average 6 years. It was a study done by Elaine Allensworth, and she concluded from this study that Chicago don't teach students how to survive in four-year universities. They only teach us how to survive on the street. And even if they do teach us how to survive in the universities, that don't necessarily ensure that we'll be successful. But what these studies don't tell you is that Chicago have dual enrollment programs and dual credit programs that allow students like me and students like myself from urban city areas to go to college and receive college credits while you're in high school. They also don't tell you about the You Promise Chicago program, which is an initiative by the UIC that allows students from Chicago public high schools to gain access to college, to apply for scholarships while they're still in high school, and to basically teach them how to thrive in high school and college. They also don't tell you about the increase of enrollment that Chicago has had. It went from 43.5% in 2004 to 60% now. And they don't tell you about Urban Prep High School, which is a high school, an all-male high school in Chicago. Last year they had a 97% graduation rate. And of the 97%, each and every one of them was enrolled in a four-year university. But the statistics don't tell you that. So for me, I get to see both sides of the coin. I get to see the side of the coin where people struggle, and I get to see the side of the coin where people are successful. And I'm fortunate enough because I decided when I was in high school that I didn't want to be on the side of the coin that was struggle. I wanted to get on the side of the coin that was success. I seen teachers and role models, and I know I wanted to exemplify something that they was exemplifying for me. So I made a change, and I decided to go to college. I wanted to beat the statistics. I wanted to create my own story. So I know I had to become the change I wanted to see so I can create a life that my nieces and my nephews and my younger cousins and people in my community can look at me and they can say, okay, I want to be like her when I grow up. I always knew that I wanted to travel when I was young. I didn't know how. I didn't know if it was possible. I know I wanted to travel the world one day, but I didn't know when I was going to have the opportunity to study the world. And I came to college, and that's when I learned about studying abroad. So then I started to consider, is it possible? Can a person like me from the south side of Chicago, statistics saying I'm not even supposed to be in college, can I study abroad? And I had to determine to become something great. I had to create my own story. And I know financial barriers was going to hinder me, so I decided to think outside of the box. I came up with a plan. This plan consisted of me strategizing. It consisted of me sending out sponsorship letters to every department on campus. It consisted of me saving money, learning how to manage my money. It consisted of me applying for scholarships day in and day out. So while abroad, I experienced culture shock in a way that it was kind of different for me than it was for the other people in my study abroad, because when we would go to restaurants, there would be people, like we would go to a restaurant, I would be the only African American there, and they would literally just stare at me like they've never seen an African American before. And when I first got there, it made me shy away, and in a way it made me insecure, but then I started to embrace it because I'm like, maybe they never seen an African American before. And after I embraced it, I just learned how to deal with it. And when people start to stare at me, I would smile back like, hi. It's fine. These are some of the places that I got to visit while on the study abroad, and I would have never had the opportunity to do this if I never studied abroad. These are some of the most historic places in the world, and people all over the world travel to these places. While abroad, it helped me build character through all the obstacles and setbacks that I've been through. Before I studied abroad, I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. It was hard trying to raise money. I'm an out-of-state student, so my study abroad was $22,000. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna come up with this money for a study abroad. And it helped me make the best of every moment, because living in the moment is something that you don't get to do often, and it's just something I don't. And while studying abroad, I gained a great appreciation for life, because I looked at the people around me that was on my study abroad. They had it made. They had their parents' credit cards and stuff like that. And I knew that all the money that I had earned to go to study abroad, I had raised it on my own. I did the GoFundMe. I did going to people's offices begging them, like, can you please give me some money for study abroad? And it just helped me. It made me appreciate study abroad more than, I'm not trying to knock nobody else's experience, but I had a great appreciation for it. While on study abroad, I gained lifelong friends. Those are friends, like they embrace. I feel like they kind of embraced the culture shock with me, and they was there, like when I needed people to talk to, they was there for me to talk to, and I created memories that I'll get to tell my kids about, because they say that I'm not even supposed to be in college, let alone studying abroad. So now I've created these memories that I'll get to talk about years and years from now. I learned to accept people different from me. And I say this because there were people on my study abroad who would say like racist comments to me, but they won't even be aware that they were saying the racist comments. And that helped me grow as a person, because I know like normally I'll react, but then I just learned to embrace, like, okay, maybe they don't know any better. Maybe it's just ignorant, and I can't react to somebody else's ignorance. And I visited places I always dreamed about. Every time I was over there, I would always think like, I'm not even supposed to be here. Honestly, like this, like it felt so surreal, because it was just like a dream come true for me, being from the South Side of Chicago. I'm like, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. And my purpose became more clear. It was I found out that my purpose was to show people back home that you don't have to become mired in mediocrity just because society says 6 in 100 people from Chicago go to college. That don't mean you have to be that 6 in 100, or you have to be that 94 in 100 that don't go to college. You can do whatever you want to do if you just set your mind to it. And my purpose became because people think it's impossible to go and study abroad. They say study abroad is too expensive. Mine was $22,000. I raised $11,000, and the rest, the other half, I did alone. But I raised 50% of that, and $11,000. If I was an in-state student, that would have paid for the whole study abroad. So I just want people to know that it's possible. You just have to believe. I learned on the study abroad to just be me and become still in the moment. I'm always the person that want to have everything figured out. I want to know the next step. I want to know what's going to happen next, instead of just relaxing and just let life catch up to me. And I also learned that with faith and just belief in God, that things will work out. Like even if you don't see it right now, that they'll work out in the long run. And I learned that to never be afraid of the small step, because each small step is like, it's kind of like a ladder, it like builds, and it's like momentum, and it's just something, to me, powerful about momentum. And you got to create your own story. You can't let society say what you can do and what you can't do and dictate your life. I know for me, I don't want society dictating my life, so I'm writing a story of my own life. And with that, you have to be okay with stepping outside of your comfort zone, because it's going to be things that you've never done before. That was just like me going to people's offices and begging them for money. I wasn't used to that, but I got to do whatever I got to do. I think we should just hold off on making assumptions about kids from inner city, urban areas, them not going to college and them not making it. If we see that there's not enough kids making it, we should take a look in the mirror at ourselves and see what we can do to change this. What we can do to bring more kids from Chicago and Detroit and other cities, so that they can experience college, so that they can experience a study abroad. And in the end, I want to inspire, and I want to let people know that if your dreams can come true if you're determined and you persevere through every obstacle. So I'll leave you with this quote. Progress is nothing without change. If you want to see change, you got to become the change that you want to see, because you become the change that you want to see.